Transcontinental Times 360-degree live show. As you know, from last few months, we are bringing top personalities from the various fields. And today, we have one of eminent personality from IIM. His name is Professor Goutam Dutta. He is very well known to the educational sphere, but let me introduce him to our viewers. First, he graduated from IIT Kharagpur and then completed his postgraduate in management from Jamshedpur, that is India, and completed his PhD from the Industrial Engineering and Management Sciences from Northwestern University, that is USA, in October 1996. He was the faculty in the Department of Operational Research in London School of Economics. Let me remind the viewers that this is the same London School of Economics from where Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar completed his PhD. He has won several prizes from France Edelman Award from Informs, that is in USA. He is the member of International Advisory Board of Journal of Operation Research Society in UK, that is in United Kingdom. He has presented various research papers on the international platform and has a 25 years of vast experience in the teaching field. Right now, he is a professor in the IIM Ahmedabad. So, Dr. Datta, welcome to the show.
Namaskar. For inviting me for
we are very, very delighted to have you in our show, and it is our great pleasure and privilege to interview a kind of people like you who are extremely talented.
Okay. Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. I think we lost the mic for a few minutes. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, by the way, you are an engineer to start with. How come
Yes,
that you migrated to the management studies?
that is probably everybody does that today. I think management. You can see Raghuram Rajan was also an engineer. He migrated to management, and if you get into several people who were one time engineer, Dr. Vijay Chandru, who is one of the distinguished scientists in computer science and related area, and today in biological engineering. He's also started his career as an engineering. So I think I am not anyway telling that I repented at being an engineer. I really been proud that I have been to IIT and other. So that way I feel that engineering knowledge has boosted my management capability.
Oh, yes, yes. You rightly said that most of the top managements are now from engineering
Quite a
field.
few of them. And you can see Manohar Parrikar, former Chief Minister of Goa, was an IIT engineer. Jairam Ramesh is from IIT. He's not an engineer probably. Arvind Kejriwal is an engineer. So engineers play a role in the society, in a bigger society. And my friend Tirochan Sastry in IIT, I am Bangalore. He is also a engineer who have made significant contribution in democracy.
Yeah. Which field you find it difficult with, whether it is engineering field or the management field?
I think you need to have a passion on your field, and if you like the subject, you are comfortable with the subject. I think when I was engineer, engineering student. I like thermal engineering. I worked in Tata Steel for about 11 years, and I worked in 3 departments: project engineering, I worked in computer services, and I worked in operation research group and other. So I feel that my background in Tata Steel made me more multidisciplinary, and that is why I went in to do my PhD. I did my MBA from XLRI in Jamshedpur, but I did not
Yeah.
do my PhD in management because I found management is too broad and too general. I wanted to focus in a particular problem when I had to do PhD. So I again went back to engineering school to do my PhD in engineering. And luckily, in Northwestern University, the department on which working, it was called Industrial Engineering and Management Science. So I got a blend of both engineering and management. And many of my batchmates from engineering pool has taken uh, top academic positions in Wharton, Stanford, and other management schools. So engineers have actually played a good role in shaping the management school destiny. I would say that in India as
Yeah.
well as abroad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Considering the fact that from doctor's stethoscope to the big buildings, engineers make the world, no doubt about that. And if the engineers are given, the responsibility for management, they are doing it in excellent. So, sir, you have taught so many students around the world. What the difference do you think is the difference when you are talking abroad and talking to the Indian, teaching to the
Yeah,
Indian students?
I can understand. I think there are, I think similarities and differences in teaching in India and teaching abroad. I think
Yeah,
my first teaching, I think a major teaching was in London School of Economics, and I was lucky that I was given that offer to teach in a conference there. And when I got this, actually, I did not want to lose this, so I went there and taught that. That was my first major teaching assignment, and I really enjoyed teaching there. uh, I think when I came to IIM Ahmedabad, I found the teaching on a different level. And I would say that actually teaching IIM Ahmedabad student was the most difficult task in my first and second year. But there I learned a lot about teaching, which I came to know from IIM Ahmedabad. Now, comparing this Indian teaching with foreign teaching and other, I would say that first is the students, second is going to be the faculty, and third is going to be the teaching method, and the fourth is going to be probably the future of teaching. For in terms of students, I think IIM Ahmedabad students is at par with the best in the world, whether it's with the top IIM Ahmedabad students, whether it's in HEC Paris or is in London School of Economics or Chinese University Hong Kong. They are comparable with any places in India, China, or Paris and other. I would say that I think our students' quality is very tough to get into Indian institutes like IITs and IIMs. So our students' quality is excellent. I think no doubt about this. Second is faculty quality. As far as teaching is concerned, faculty quality, there is not much of difference. But in terms of research, probably we have not attained to the level which a faculty in London School of Economics or London Business School, or probably a faculty who has taught in even in Chinese University of Hong Kong. I find the faculty publication-wise, research-wise, they are little ahead of us. We'll need about 10-15 years to catch up with them. And in terms of teaching methodologies, I think we have the same facilities to teaching methodology in terms of teaching support and other. At least comparing with IIM Ahmedabad, it is at par with the rest of the world, best schools in the rest of the world. I don't have any doubt about this. In terms of future of teaching, I think we need to invest more on that. I think future of teaching might be more going to come based on COVID and other. Most online teaching is going to come. And second is that we need to figure it out when we teach in a management school, what type of impact are we making? Are we making students, but we are making students for whom these questions will come. Our students are primarily joining multinational companies, but is that the best to make our country Atmanirbhar? I am not very
yeah,
sure about that. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
there are issues which will come. We can discuss that if we bring those issues here. Yeah, it's up to
yeah,
you
yeah.
to ask question.
Yeah, yes. Definitely, I will raise that issues again. Now you are talking about the teaching methodologies. When you compare the teaching methodologies in Europe and in America, look at the Europe countries. They are hardly greater than the states of the India. Hardly greater than the states of the India.
True.
Yet they produce the genius of scientists, the genius of from every department, from the technological, and we have a huge 130, more than 130 crore people. And right
Yeah.
now, if I am not wrong, Sir C.V. Raman was the last man 100 years ago who got the Nobel Prize. That is the native Indian, what we call as the native Indian. After that, there is a huge blank as far as the scientists are concerned. What is the difference between those teaching in the European and the American way, that is the Western way, and our present system, which we are mugging it up and putting the thing of a kind of a situation where just student has to mug it up, write it up, and spell it out. Do you think
Uh,
there is a difference between
I
our
won't say I won't say that, which I little bit said that in when we talk about management education, our education up to undergraduate level, especially if you consider IITs and many of these national college, Indian Institute of Indian Statistical Institute, IISc, up to
yeah, yeah,
undergraduate level, and even in the master's level, probably it is at par. The PhD level and other, I think it is not the same, because one is that investment in PhD program, either in IIM or anywhere is not very high in India. If you see that investment in research, so India is not specifically, even as of today, it is not a research driven society. What I will say
yeah,
that major decisions in the cabinet are not taken based on advice taken from academia. Some of them are taken, but possibly not. Major decision and bureaucrat does not believe in what is the scientist actually advises in. He takes what is based on your gut feeling or experience. So as such,
yeah,
we are not a very, I would say that we are not a very scientifically tempered society. That is one point. Second is that why we are lagging behind Europe. Europe have a history. Europe have a history for a long time. Indian history, if you look into, for about 1,000 years, we are under the foreign domination. Foreigners have come, invaded us, burnt our universities, and walked away. I think this is what we need to understand, that we have got freedom only in 70 years, and what we have accomplished in 70 years is phenomenal. So me in another nation which is risen other than China, in another reason so much that it is the third or fourth largest economy in the world in purchasing power parity. It has spent, it is now sending something to, it is sending uh, a mission to moon, is sending mission to Mars. So we need to be proud of our accomplishments. I feel that there is a lot of things to be done in our education system, but that does not mean that just because we did not produce a Nobel laureate does not mean that we are not producing scientists. So whatever the work which is done by DRDO, whatever is work that is
yes,
done
yes,
by
yes, yes,
ISRO,
yes. That is the main thing. That is the main question. I'm just asking you. That is the main. DRDO, there are DRDO, there are ISRO, there are certain institutions which are no doubt about that they are making a leap and bound progress in their respective right. But what in general, whether we are lacking in the research fund, whether we are lacking in the knowledge, or whether it is the implementation from the education department where we are lagging behind the Western technological and research oriented education system.
I,
What do
I,
you
I,
think?
I did not get your question very correctly, that where are we lacking? The
Yeah,
lacking is
yeah,
that primarily that we are 1.3 billion people, and every young people in India has aspirations. We are not do not have enough money to fulfill their aspirations. Our economy has to grow. The moment economy grows, prosperity will trickle down to those places. That is not
yes,
happening. Economy
yes,
needs
yes.
to grow much faster. If China has grown so fast, why we have not grown? We must ask the question. And once you grow, your economy grows, you can invest more in the education. Now, if I have X amount of money, would I give it to the primary education or would I give it to research? So that's the big question the government has got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
That's my
need to
question.
figure it
My
out
question
where
is
to
whether,
put my money.
yeah, yeah, whether our government is eager to put more money on our research field or not. For
No, it is
example,
not.
for example, not, no, no. Yeah, that's
It is
exactly.
not. I'm
For
very clear
example,
about this, and you can see the number of patents which is coming from Indian institutes. You can see the per capita research expenditure. But even I would not only blame the government, even the private sector played a very little role in promoting research. Today you speak about engineers are not actually attractive, engineers are not doing good work and other, but where exactly engineer gets a chance to demonstrate engineering skill in a private company? So these are
yeah,
bigger
exactly,
problems which is there. And we
exactly.
can go on discussing about those things.
No, no, no. Then where is the solution is?
Huh?
A professor who is teaching for 25 years, let know from your mouth the problem we are facing. What is the solution?
So where is the problem we are facing? I don't think professors in IIM Ahmedabad have any problem. At least I don't see.
It's not only I am Ahmedabad, sir. It's a
I am one of the
whole
finest
country's problem.
educational institution, but if you talk of bigger things than other, government needs to invest on primary education and invest on education and invest to figure it out that way to put the money in research. So rightly so, they have invested in research. It has paid it off. Research and space exploration and other. Now they have to invest on education and the healthcare. I think healthcare is one sector which is very weak and poor. I think this COVID had demonstrated that we need to invest on the healthcare. We need to invest on the education of the government schools, which Kejriwal has done. I think he has done phenomenally good work, and one of my colleagues is working there on this. So we need to invest. The government money should not be going to the private sector; it's going to the government schools, and let the schools prosper. The moment you have the government schools in CBSE and others scoring 95%, people will be willing to send that. So there's kids there. Earlier, what was happened? Government schools means this is of utter neglect in all places. That is not necessarily true. So Kejriwal is given a model. Whether that is good or not good for India will be probably time will tell that. But definitely he has shown some way. Whether that will right or not, time will tell that.
Yeah. No, exactly. You have put a proper mark on my question. That yes, we need to put emphasis on government school, because from there the most of the children who are coming out, and if we can put larger measures on the government. Yes, the apathy shown towards the government school is largely due to the fact that there are no proper school teaching method. There are students who are coming from the economically backward caste, and they are somehow managing their whereabouts in the life, and still managing their school. And I have seen. I am also a kind of a lecturer where I have taught a number of students who are very poor at their 10th and 12th standard. Yet they come, in flying colors when they pass their graduation or pass their engineering exam. That means we have got the talent. Only thing is that we are missing at ground level. For example, sir, let me take you to the border of France and Switzerland, where $100 billion project is going on in that long tunnel, that is CERN, CER and CERN. India is contributing. Indian scientists are contributing. We are at one stage preparing SSC, small signal collider. That is what we called as initially. That was to be installed in Kolkata, but due to some political mess up, that whole thing was smashed up. Otherwise, we could have been the our scientists could have been the person who are discovering bosons and Higgs boson like that. But that didn't happen because there was no political will for the development of India. Yes, when you call about the development, we have in our ancient times have the universities like Takshila, Nalanda, and Vikramshila. Now they are all being destroyed. They have been destroyed by the periodic invasion by the invaders. But can we imbibe some of their better attributes and install or instill in our education system so that our education system should grow like that?
I think what is a very relevant question. I think they had this we had this Guru Sishya Parampara, and we had several ways of teaching that at the different stages of your life. I think those parts were there. And at the same time, the knowledge which is together, and I would actually bring back that one person which I tremendously respect is Swami Vivekananda, who said that education is the manifestation of perfection already in the man. When a man means he is a human being. So I think everybody, every individual, every boy and girl who go to a primary school, he or she is extremely talented, extremely potential. I think education should give to bring out that potential. And as you take out the potential for every individual, somebody wants to become an astronaut, somebody wants to become a police officer. So I think you need to bring the best out of every child. I think that is the goal. And once we do that goal, then the child is going to have aspirations and aspirations. So here in India, we are very lucky that we have a large young population, and that young population is very aspirational. I think that is good. And since they are aspirational, they need to be now focusing their, I think, the work and the talent to achieve these aspirations. When these aspirations actually are achieved, it is going to be India's education system, and everything is going to be great. The way to do is probably we don't need so much of English education, and I'm speaking for an institute which actually speaks about so much of English education. IIMA, we write so many number of cases. We have probably more than 3,000 good cases there. My suggestion is that if I need to go and teach in a state government in officials in Chhattisgarh or in Patna or in Assam, why don't we translate these cases to Indian languages and teach it there?
Exactly, exactly,
You
sir.
want to bring Indian
Exactly.
culture, let us do that.
Yes,
Because these are
yes,
Indian
yes,
cases.
yes,
Most of the cases in IMA is Indian cases. Why don't we do that? Why
yes,
don't we
yes.
put our... Second is that we need to have confidence in our abilities. I teach a case where actually in Tata Steel, one work which was done, which is my former employer, one project was completed in record time. It was better than the Chinese, it is better than the Americans, it was better than the South Koreans. And that project, which the Chinese did it in 36 months, I think US did it in 30 months, South Korean did 29 months, Indians did in 26 months. Nobody
Wow.
teaches course, nobody teaches that case. Why it is so? Because our masters who are sitting in Boston or Washington or London don't want us to teach this. This
All
is a
right.
very big statement which I am making, but that is exactly the type of things which is happening. I need to be proud that Indians in this, and for that work, the Tata Steel employees were invited in Harvard and the Carnegie Mellon to talk about how India did this. So if America wants to know how India did this project, so why don't we teach in our courses? So we are actually little hesitant. Why do I teach Indian cases? Nobody is going to like that. Why will the people talk about that? So I don't do this. You can ask Roshan also, because he was a participant in our program. I think we should be proud of our accomplishments. Even there are several good projects which are going on, not all on the time in India as of today, and I actually keep in touch with some of the good projects. We need to teach these cases. So first is that it, to start teaching in Indian languages, Indian cases, where actually we can be proud of. Even last 70 years, we have enough success stories. We need to talk about those success stories. We are always talking about what Western world wants us to talk, that where India has failed and how India is going to be dependent, how India is going to be great disaster in the future. That is what they want us to talk. I don't think we need to listen to that. We need to talk
Yes,
about
yes,
what is right for India.
yes, yes, yes.
What is right for India may not be right for US and others or
Of course,
foreigners.
of
We
course,
need to
of
figure it
course.
out what is right for us.
Yes, 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 yes. If it is the problem of India, it is the India which can solve the problem, not from the foreign
Yes,
countries. We need
exactly. It's the Indians who can solve the problem.
any suggestions from anybody, because we are quite capable of doing it. And yes, you said that we are at lacking at the health system and all these things. We will manage it, no doubt about that. Our professionals, our doctors, our engineers are talented enough to overcome such a grim time throughout the year. We are now facing the very grotesque time about that. But sticking on the basic education system right now, I want to ask one simple question: how the science books can we convert, or can we translate that good science books into native languages, so that the children should be from their early stages of development should be attracted to the science? How
Yes,
can we do that?
in fact, I would say that when I studied in a Bengali medium school in Jamshedpur. And that place actually, that was the time. There were some English medium schools. Probably I was not in a rich or in a very rich family that my parents could send me to those schools. I studied science in Bengali medium's books. So I think India, the concepts in physics is same as how you that Englishman English speak to an English speaking children, the same way I think Indian people can speak to an Indian audience in Indian languages. I don't think the science could be only explained. What is there is the bigger research. Later on, the research papers which is there, which actually are not probably there. And this is one of the things to change. If you are clearly looking for changing the education system, we need to have good investment in the journals. Journals mean the research papers. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we have very good journals in Indians, run by Indians and actually authored and edited. The editor-in-chief is from Indian journals, very little. We have Tata
Very.
Agrovit company, but they don't invest in journals. We have
Yeah,
Sage and one or two, but I think we need investment in these research journals. I think we India should make I think 15 top Indian journals in different fields. That is not coming up. Why that is not coming up? Because every Indian who is sitting in India wants to actually make a name in the United States, would like to like to publish their research in foreign language journal like top American or British journal, because that is where he gives his advancement in his career. So unless Indian Institute makes sure that at least one paper you have to publish in Indian journal, this is what Chinese have done that, and Chinese have done exceptionally well that you publish, but you also publish one in Chinese journal before you graduate. So I think these type of things which will be required. Again, it's a question of investing where my priorities and how much investment I want to do. So that becomes very important. So importance in research has to be more, especially later part. I think research classes, courses need much more investment of time and investment of money. I think these two things are important. When you put money and investment with a good management skills, if you nurture it for 10-15 years, results are bound to come. Which has happened in 70 years, the results has come from DRDO and ISRO, which have created, I think, one of the wonders of the world. I think at
yes, yes. No doubt
besides
about it.
we are close to America and Russia. In space, we are also coming close to America, Russia, and China. And in few years, probably we will be at par with them. So that can be happening in any other places. Maybe it will take, but it has to come with a long-term thinking. You cannot invest in education today and expect results in next year. It has to come over a period of 10, 15, 20, 25,
Yes,
30 years.
of course,
And that
of course.
investment, somebody at the level of Prime Minister has to think about that. I am going to invest in this field today. This is going to give me this type of return. Unless that is done, what I want to say that 5 साल में कि 5 महीना 10 महीना में कोई results नहीं आएगा. We can talk about several things in making India, and that will not come unless we actually think long term. Even Ajit Doval has said that if you want to make a defense capability, you think about 50 years, don't think about 5 years. 5 years government changes, another government comes, and they think that we are only here for 5 years. You have to think about 15, 20 years at least. And that is the thing which Chinese have done this very well in terms of making that infrastructure, in fact of giving their putting their investment and figuring out that China goes ahead, irrespective of what Western world tells them. I think they have been phenomenal advancement. Even their advisories, they are fighting a war with us in this. I think they have some credibility which we need to give them respect a little bit. Yeah.
पर प्रोफेसर साहब अभी सोचेगा तो इसका रिजल्ट 15 साल बाद आएगा ना. सोचना बहुत जरूरी है. वी हैव टू थिंक अबाउट द एजुकेशन सिस्टम राइट नाउ. It is the highest possible time that we should invest a large sum on our education system, and people like you who can guide the government, who can guide the education institute, should come forward and tell them, yes, this is the right time that we should invest. And more importantly, what I feel when I talk to the various field, they are not aware of their own historical background from the last 5,000 years. Our school narratives have a different view of our history. We were backward, we were so and so. I give you one example of what we call as a Pascal triangle, where the binomial coefficients has been put in 1, 1 plus add 1 to 1, 2, 1. Then you add it. That is a Hemchandra series. Means the Pascal himself has stated that I have taken this from Indian author Hemchandra, and Western civilization has put it in a manner where we learn it that it is a Pascal triangle. That was not a Pascal triangle. That was Hemchandra series, and it was way behind in 11th century, 12th century. We are not aware of this thing. Trigonometry is where our ancestors have worked so many things on the trigonometry because the huge buildings and they cannot be proven. Now it is a high time that we should invest in our history also. What is your thought?
Yeah, that is definitely true that we need to write our history properly, especially history of Indian science and scientists. The very fact that radio was, we know that radio was invented by Marconi, but Jagadish Chandra Bose
But
was the first person to do
Jagdish,
this.
yeah,
IEEE probably after 100 years actually accepted that it is actually accepted by IEEE in the US that he was the inventor, really invented on that.
yes, yes,
Similarly, I think Indians or people of Indian origin living outside India has a role to play, and government of India has also a role to play. The thing you are talking about very similar, Sridharacharya's method. A square, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The
yeah,
solution
yeah,
of that. We rarely say it's a Sridharacharya's method. Now, of course, some
yeah.
of my son is doing this and other. I come to know the Sridharacharya's method, but we are not been speaking about that. Similarly, there are
No,
theories.
we are not speaking because we aren't aware of that. No, we aren't aware of that. When we are in 8th standard, the algebra books say that a square bx plus c the calculator. Nobody told us that it belongs to such and such people
Absolutely.
from the India.
There's somebody who is in the educational field, I think education, who actually approves these books and other. Probably they need to think that Indian authors are actually mentioned there and properly and other. Which I think again I would bring the Chinese and other. Probably they will say everything which has been invented by Americans, Chinese claim that they were the first to invent that. So something like this is we have to figure it out. We don't have to claim where we did not do, but when we really did this, we need to speak about that.
No, no,
It is
no. The
very conceptual.
claim is definitely have a solid evidence. For example, Bhaskaracharya mentioned gravity in his book, and that was picked up by Newton because the whole thing was translated and it is transported to the Europe via these Arab travelers and is being translated in Latin and then it's picked up by. Yes, we were whether the integration differential system was there or not, it can be debatable. But yes, the concept was there and it was written, and I have also seen my two own eyes that yes, Bhaskacharya had written a couplet about the gravitation, how to measure it, how they will repel, the two charges will be repelled. All these things were available to us, and we hesitantly put no, we are not aware of that thing, and we are that is the main problem with us. Our education system is not making us reliant, that self-reliant of our ancestors, history, and we are at the receiving end, and everybody is putting in our ears that yes, somebody is from that. Yes, Western civilization had taken science to a different level, no doubt about that. But we must also agree the fact that yes, we Indians have also in one time there have a solid scientific background, no doubt about
I
that.
think that historical background, the importance of Indians in scientists will come. The moment I think Indians become little more prominent, will come. But we need to have people in our country who are proud of India's accomplishments. I think unless whether it's in history or in geography or whether it is in physics, chemistry, mathematics, each field I think we have excelled and we need to know this. Even if you look into this political history, how the dynasties have changed and other, people only come and say that some people came to this country, defeated us and other. In between that, so many people came and could not actually enter India. I think that part is not written in the history properly. So our history book in terms of history of India needs to be rewritten. And in rewritten, I think which our children will be proud of our country. I think that is not the way it is done. Because unless we write in such a way that our children are proud of country, and we are not telling something which did not happen, but which did happen, another which is not actually been put there, I think we need to correct that and put it in proper perspective.
Yes, yes, yes. Now come back to the Bengal.
Bengal, okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Come back to the Bengal.
Prefer not to talk about that, but okay, since the election,
Now, once I heard from my father that the beautiful quotation was that what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. So many galaxies of people from science department, from arts, from literature, you name it, and the Bengal were. Now, what happens? Let's discuss in Bengali so that the Bengali people can also feel that yes, transcontinental times Bengali people দেরকেও একটু ধ্যান দেয়, তাহলে আমি সেটাই জিজ্ঞেস করছি, what happened to the Bengal? Now why that galaxies which are once the মানে যেটাকে বলি আমরা torch bearers of the Indian civilization, এখনটা কি হলো? কেন বেঙ্গল থেকে ওই জিনিয়াস গুলো বেরোচ্ছে না?
People, educated people still exist in West Bengal, and they are probably at par with rest of the world, and some of them of course has gone to California and London and other countries, and other that is true, but still I think we have good people in West Bengal who are good researchers and other. What has not happened is that in terms of industrial development, I think industrial development has taken a backseat. Maybe after Bidhan Chandra Rai actually died, after that political turmoil which went on, and then lefts coming into power, several industrialists leaving, Tata's, the Birlas leaving early, Tata's leaving recently in Singur. That is a period where rest of India has grown phenomenally. If you see the place like Bangalore has grown phenomenally, and they are not going to wait what is going to happen in Bengal. They are going to prosper anyway. They are going to, because you cannot blame that I am not progressing, so you don't also progress. You cannot go and tell somebody else. So I am not progressing, you also don't progress. That is not going to work. So it's a competitive. I think every state is competing with other. Bengalis has to be competitive. I think that fear of competition should not be there, and Bengalis can do well in several fields. We have Saurabh Ganguly who has shown that how to lead India successfully. I think that's a great example. And I think if we have more people like Saurabh Ganguly in other fields, we Bengalis will excel. It's only a question of time. You need to put investment, and you see that major project has not happened. Tell me one major project which is happening in West Bengal in last 10 years other than Calcutta Metro. And I'm writing that case in Calcutta Metro, which is East-West Calcutta Metro. I'm writing a case. It will come out as an IIMA case sometime. So my sense is that investment must come in Bengal, no matter which party is in power, and whether the color of the party is red or saffron or blue, whatever is there. I think people need to invest, and then when the investment comes, people need to work thinking that it's a project of Bengal and it is for betterment of the Bengal. Does not matter which party is in power. It's true for also for India in a bigger sense. No matter whatever, if it is good for India, do this. If it is not good for India, probably it is not. So it is a good for Bengal, and this is what I find very good in Gujarat. I think whenever the BJP wants to bring, or one party wants to bring investment here, other party does not oppose. Going to bring investment and other. So Gujarat has progressed phenomenally, and you can see that per capita energy consumption, which in Gujarat will be 2300, Bengal it will be 730 kilowatt hour per capita. So that gives an index of industrial production. That may be one of the indices, but that gives an index of industrial production. So what we need to do is that we need to bring investment, and again Bengalis has to speak about their own. Think about this, whether in Bengal or outside Bengal, they have to actually.
না এখন বেঙ্গলটা তো দিদি এখন জিতে নিয়েছে, তো আপনার কি লাগে বেঙ্গলটাকে এখন ইনভেস্টমেন্ট আসবে না আবার সেই সিঙ্গুর মতনই অবস্থা হবে?
I think the problem in this thing is that Singur is a very debatable thing, and I won't go there. One time, like you, some other, I was taking a picture in Singur plant, another. Some people from media actually was me that sir somebody kichu bolun, another when they came to know about this. I won't say anything because whatever Didi did, actually Supreme Court has stood by Didi. I think ultimately Didi's thing has been, so we cannot say she did anything illegal. But having said that, it was the point when Tatas were thinking of entering, and it was the, I think, last few years of Buddhadev Bhattacharya. He was one of the best chief minister West Bengal of recent times. I would rate him very higher than any other recent chief ministers and other. I think he wanted to bring investment, even he was a left party. I would think that if you bring big investment, the smaller investment will automatically come, and that was his thinking. So now Didi has to, she has to work with central government. Buddhadev was very good in doing this. He used to work with Advani, so she has to figure it out how to work with, because central government has a lot of funds, and you need those funds because West Bengal does not have abundance of funds. There are not hundreds of thousands of NRIs investing millions and billions of dollars in West Bengal with bypassing the center. That is not possible. So I would like to say that let us think about that. Let us work together. Whether the BJP comes to power or BJP becomes main opposition, BJP and Trinamool has to work together. If they figure it out how to work it together, it is better. But if it does not, I think other states are not going to wait for again West Bengal to catch up. So let us go behind another. Others are going to take advantage of that.
Yes.
Yes, so that is what is about Bengal. I think I still want Bengal to become at par with whatever is the rest of the advanced states which is there. But definitely other states have taken the race and then go much by one ahead of this. But Bengal has got a heritage. It has got people like Rabindranath Ray,
Yes.
Rabindranath Tagore, Satyajit Ray, and it has great intellectual history. A lot of scientists have so many Nobel Prize winners and others. So that actually gives the justification. And of recently we have Saurav Ganguly, which I speak about this.
সৌরভ গাঙ্গুলির এখন তো বাঙালের বিসিসিআই এর এখন তো উনি প্রেসিডেন্ট, এন্ড আই হোপ কি বিসিসিআই এর যে ইয়েটা হচ্ছে ওটা অনেক আগে যাবে। But what are your future plans? Do you think you are going to write a book on subject like education?
I had actually 2 book offers, which I have been lazy enough not to write those books. One book was on subject called project management, which I think Springer International told me to write few years back. I didn't do anything. Another was dynamic pricing and revenue management. There are several people who said that. So I probably after my retirement next year, I definitely want to complete those books and other. Education, I'm not sure I'm still the right person to do this. I have done little bit of work in industry. I taught in IIM Ahmedabad, but does that give me enough chance to write about education, Indian education system? Do I know it enough? Unless I go and speak to, I think teach in a things like a primary school or probably go in an ordinary university and teach this. I want to get an experience and I can write a book, and that book will be acceptable to everybody, because people will say that, oh, he studied in big schools abroad and here, what does he know about India? Because I've been to Chhattisgarh and gone to build the villages in Chhattisgarh schools and how I have seen those schools are run. But still, I think I need to learn more before I write a book on education. But subjects which are actually investment time, like project management, revenue management, I have plans of writing books, but that is after 1 year, not now, in the future.
Okay. So Mr. Dr. Dutta, we have have a great time to talking with you, and all the best for your future endeavors and future projects. And we hope that we will get you in the next few months again with new insights on the education, new insight on the present your Bengal, and more, so that we can discuss a lot about that. And thank you for joining with us. With this, we come to the end of this segment of 360-degree Live. Hope you like this. Please join Transcontinental Times.
Thank you very much. Namaskar.